only for us, the audience, to get this great shot of Mari looking up at him from the window. Which is when he's suddenly pulled into the shadows, and the last thing he sees is this. All of a sudden, the room he's in just starts filling up with water. Kawase continues to question what's going on, and he looks up at his teacher for some kind of reassurance that, maybe this is just a joke. Only to be given one of the coldest stares in fiction. Hi there. So for those who don't know, I'm a Dragon Ball fan. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jaden, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it means I can't read. Basically, my point is that I don't read often. That includes manga. But when I do read something, oh boy, does it have to engage me. And this might be one of the most engaging manga I have ever read since Death Note. Yes, for those who don't know, I actually read Death Note before I saw the anime. And oh my gosh, was 6-year-old me so intrigued. I could barely read anything I was looking at, but my gosh, were the colors so pretty. I say that knowing that the manga is black and white, there's no color. What am I talking about? But no, I am actually serious. If you have not read Maria no Danzai, it's not Maria. If you have not read Maria no Danzai, I guess Maria and Maria. If you have not read Maria no Danzai, please do yourself the service of watching this series, reading this series. It's not an anime yet. Mark my words, this will get an anime adaptation. God, I hope it gets an anime adaptation. Because this manga is so good. It reaches Death Note levels of just keeping you engaged and keeping you guessing, and you never know what's gonna happen next. And today, I'm not gonna do this manga justice. I'm really not. But I just gotta talk about it, alright? By the way, I am recording this right as I wake up, so if I sound hotter than usual, it's because my voice is deeper in the morning. Trust me, by the end of this video, I'll probably go back to sounding like a prepubescent 14-year-old child. So we open up our story with our protagonist, Maria, carefully preparing some lunch for her dear son. By the way, I should probably mention, for those who don't know, I'm African American, I'm not Japanese, so I'm gonna butcher some of the pronunciation of these names. I'll try my hardest because I know a little bit about the Japanese language of pronunciation, but I just might be flat out wrong on some of these names, except Maria, because that's the only one that the manga goes out of its way to teach you how to pronounce. So here we go. This precious cinnamon bun is our good boy, Naguri. Not even gonna try and pronounce that last name. But he has a very strong relationship with his mother. He loves and respects her more than anything in the world. Good morning, Mom. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you like that. Although, you don't have to do this much right in the morning. I mean, seriously, this kid is just far too pure. This is like if Sora and Orihime from Bleach had a kid. He's that kind and sweethearted. And he's also getting abused every day at school. Because every day at school for this poor kid was basically survival. Yeah, every day that these guys even so much as made eye contact with him, they bullied him so severely that he would leave with cuts, bruises, and sometimes barely even be able to walk. Now you might be thinking to yourself, other than the school system going out of its way to protect bullies like it does in real life, why hasn't anyone done anything? I mean, this goes so far beyond bullying. This is actual crimes. Well, you see, this guy right here, and I feel a certain way about this guy right here. You see, guys, as of recording this video, the manga has actually not ended. It is still ongoing. I cannot wait to see you get everything that's coming to you. Not gonna say too much, The point is, The reason this guy gets away with so much of the heinous things he does to the people in this school is because his psychopathic mother is the chief of police, which means a lot of his crimes, not bullying, crimes, gets immediately covered up. Ooh. We got a word for people like you. I can't say it though, because I like my channel. Anyways, Maria, being an incredible mother, notices that something is up with her kid. He's coming home from school a little too cheery, but clearly injured. She tries to talk to her husband about it, who I believe is in the FBI, only for him to just say, "Nah, it's probably just boys being boys. Don't worry too much about it." Little did he know. So one day, while Naguri was minding his own business playing games on his phone, he gets a message of, well, I don't really know if I can show this. Let's just say his mother is kissing another man a lot. But Naguri's spider senses start going off, and he realizes something. He's like, nah. My mom's got too much self-respect to be an OnlyFans girl. And Naguri was right on the money, because while it might be his mom's face, it's clearly not her voice, which means the video has been altered somehow. So Naguri gets a message on his phone telling him to meet up at the observatory. So Naguri comes face to face with his personal demons, and this one, oh god, I hate this kid. He basically tells him, here's the deal. You're gonna jump off the roof, or I'm gonna spread this video of your mom. Ooh! Ooh! I've never wanted to hit kids more. Ooh! Oh my goodness. If I was in his shoes, I would be swinging! Naguri had too much love and respect for his mother and could not let that video get out there. Fake or not. Real or not. So, he did what he was told. And he, without hesitation, jumped off the building. And if that wasn't enough, Maria, having great maternal instincts, realized something was up and decided to go after her son, tracking him via his cell phone. She was wondering what he was doing in the middle of the road, which is when she looked up and saw her poor son. Maria, with her eyes welling up full of tears and covered in her own son's blood, could only look up to the sky and ask why, unaware that all 5 reasons were just standing right above her. But don't worry, because while these 5 demons made her son a victim, they're about to be victims all their own. So, a couple days go by, and Maria is, rightfully so, still not in the best headspace, still blaming herself for what happened, wondering why her son would ever do something like that. One day, while cleaning his room, she made a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. His diary. And oh boy, this thing was like Light Yagami stumbling upon the Death Note. It changed her, because not only did this man catalog every single day of his torture, but he also recorded it. That's right, this man had receipts. And poor Maria, bro, she was sick to her stomach looking at this. Just 5 demons surrounding her son, laughing at his suffering. Look at her face, bro. But these 5 smiling faces weren't going to be smiling for much longer. Because if there's anything that my mother has taught me in real life, It's that you never mess with a mom's only child. Oh boy. At this point, Maria was fully locked in. She divorced her husband, got full body surgery, basically cut any ties to her past. She was a brand new person. And she was willing to do anything, just to get close to the same kids that made her son a victim. All so she could do the same to them. Even did some questionable things just to get the nurse position. Let's discuss victim number 1, Kawase. Now, remember earlier when I brought up that Mari's son had a bunch of recordings? Well, guess who took those recordings? That's right. The scum of the earth, Kawase. This disgusting... he would take pictures of girls and then use it as blackmail to make them do whatever he wanted. And I do mean whatever. I'm not going to get into too much of what he does, but I hope that you can read the room in the context of what I'm giving you. All you need to know is that I would not be caught dead in a room with this man, because he would be dead and I would be walking out of the room. Ooh, that was a bar! Hold on! So Kawase, being a coward loser, decides to pick on the shy, quiet girls since they don't usually fight back. And this was his favorite target. I don't remember her name. Don't worry about it. The point is, he kicked this girl so hard that she threw up. He was extorting money from her because he has a video of her that she doesn't want getting out. Supposedly it's a video of her shoplifting, but he has other videos too. Thankfully, Mari, the new school nurse, comes to the rescue. She confiscates Kawase's phone, telling him that he's not technically supposed to have it on campus. However, Kawase's victim from earlier comes back to the nurse's office, explaining a little bit of the situation, and Mari can't help but look at this poor innocent victim of a girl and see her son. And it was in that moment that Mari decided, never again. No one in this school is going to share the same fate as my son. So Kawase was at home being a loser, going through his camera roll of all his victims, since he likes to catalog it for some reason, which is when a very compromising video made its way on his phone. A video that was recorded of him doing some embarrassing things. Kawase is very quick to point out that he would have never recorded himself doing this. Someone actually hacked into his phone camera and recorded it off of his phone. That's right. It was Mari. But of course, Kawase doesn't know that. Mari then sends an anonymous message that simply says to bring her 3,000 yen, or the video leaks everywhere. So Kawase goes to school panicked. He's looking over his shoulder, wondering who could have possibly done this to him. Who could possibly have this much dirt on him? Who could have hacked his phone camera? Who is doing this and why him? Only for us, the audience, to get this great shot of Mari looking up at him from the window, like a hawk stalking her prey, waiting for the right moment to strike. So Kawase runs into old girl from earlier, and basically on the verge of snapping, kidnaps her and tries to torture information out of her. Basically, he believes that she was the one who leaked the video, or has the video of him. So, Kawisa, finally snapping, is about to kill old girl, which is when he's suddenly pulled into the shadows, and the last thing he sees is this. After who knows how long, Kawase wakes up in what I think is a shower, baptismal, whatever. The point is, you see, one of his hands is in this weird, combination lock handcuff. I say cuff because it's only one. and it appears to be connected to the wall. He looks over to his right and is shocked to see a knife dangling beside him. He then looks over one more time as he hears footsteps approaching. These are the footsteps of a grieving mother. And the last thing you want to be is the reason why a mother is grieving. Kawase is all confused. He's like, Sensei, what are you doing here? Is this some kind of prank? What's going on? This isn't funny. All of a sudden, the room he's in just starts filling up with water. Kawase continues to question what's going on, and he looks up at his teacher for some kind of reassurance that, maybe this is just a joke. Only to be given one of the coldest stares in fiction. And once he locked eyes with her, once he looked into her soulless eyes, he realized, oh, this isn't a prank, is it? Mari just looks him dead in the eyes, telling him that this is a punishment, that he's stolen so much from other people that it's only fitting she takes his oxygen from him. This scumbag then immediately starts victim blaming, believing that maybe Mari's getting revenge for, all the girls that he's extorted and assaulted, basically saying that it's their fault because they never really said no to any of what was going on, that if something was wrong, they should have put up more of a fight. She then kicks him in the mouth. Ooh, that felt so satisfying. Mari lets Kawase know that unlike him, she's not a monster, and she tells him that all he has to do to get that cuff off of his hand is to enter a simple combination. The combination to his restraint is the date of the greatest crime he ever committed. But she also gives him a second option. If, for whatever reason, he just can't remember what that date is exactly, he can always use that knife beside him and cut off his own hand to escape. And this disgusting freak literally says to himself that depending on who he committed the crime against specifically, it could really be any day. Brother. For real? Well, things start to get worse for Kasawa as he realizes that the water is now at hip level. Realizing he's cooked, he resorts to begging, telling Mari how sorry he is for everything he's ever done. He's so sorry. So if she can just save him, that'd be great. But once he locked eyes with her a second time, he realized she's not looking for an apology. She's looking for his suffering. So then all of a sudden, this little baby starts crying, all about how he doesn't want to die and he's gonna miss his friends and he just wishes he could torture people one more time. Like that one kid they used to torture all the... No, it couldn't be. Naguri? Naguri. 4 digits. The numbers. The death anniversary of Naguri. So Kisawa immediately starts putting in the numbers, thinking that he's got it. Survey says he can't remember the day Naguri died. All Kisawa can remember is that Naguri died around the winter time. That's right, Naguri's death was so insignificant to him, he didn't even bother to remember the day it happened. Kisawa screams out in frustrated agony, praying, wishing that Nagara could have died sometime around a holiday or something, just to make it easier for him to remember. Kisua, now in full panic mode, sees 2 things beside him. The knife dangling right beside his head, and this. Now, fun fact about Mari. She won't state it until a little bit later, but she never really enjoys the torture she puts these kids through. In fact, she hates every second of it. So this face feels a little out of place for her. So it's my personal belief, a little bit of a mini theory if you will, that Mari isn't actually making this face. This is Kisawa looking at the face of a monster he and his friends created. He is imagining his own downfall, because he knows it's coming. Kisawa, realizing he's out of options, grabs the knife. He begins to cut away, but realizes he ain't built for this. No, no, no! This is crazy. I'm not gonna cut off my own hand. I guess you'll have to die. Realizing there really is no getting out of this, his survival instincts kick in, and he begins to chop away at his own hand, trying desperately to sever it from his body. The knife manages to cut through his skin, but breaks once it hits his bone. Now, for those who are still playing catch-up, if you look very closely at the knife that has been beside him the whole time, you'll notice it's already a little bit chipped and damaged, because Mari set him up. She knew that at some point he would have no choice but to use that knife, which means she kept it sharp enough to get through his skin, but made sure that it was dull enough to break once it touched his bone. And it was pretty much just wraps for Kisawa. All he could do was scream and cry because he was out of options. And Maria, being an absolute fiend, went out of her way to make sure the last two things this human piece of garbage ever saw was the face of his victim's mother and his own body on his phone. And how fitting that someone who used to find joy in taking videos and pictures of his victims ended up a victim on his same phone. That's what we call poetic justice. Absolute cinema. What goes around comes around, bucko. Hey, tell me how hot the flames are from hell. Oh no. But the greatest mom in all of fiction was not done just yet, because she drops one of the coldest lines and also reveals to us what the combination was to undo the restraint. Your greatest sin wasn't driving that boy to his death. It was the fact that you were born. That's right. Kisawa would have never guessed the combination to undo his restraint, because the combination was the date of his birth. Y'all, like, is this not one of the greatest things ever written? We then cut to some beautiful, some stunning illustry of Maria sitting outside, and behind her is a mural of an angel casting out demons. The symbolism, the cinematography, the shot, the artwork, the storytelling. Mwah! Chef's kiss! Gordon Ramsay would give this 10 out of 10. Finally, some real food! Oh, and if you're wondering what happened to Kisawa's body, well, you notice the dumpster fire right there in front of Maria? Well, if you look behind her, you'll notice that there's a bunch of saws and sharp objects behind her. Something that you would maybe use to, dismember somebody and throw them into a dumpster fire and make them easier for their body to burn. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. And poor Maria, man. You can tell that she was once just a sweet, loving, charismatic mother who wanted nothing more than to see her son happy. And now she's left sick to her stomach after realizing what it is she did. But there's no turning back now, because after Maria throws up in her mouth, she utters a simple sentence: 4 more to go.